This is Too Long for a Voice Note, a podcast about everything and nothing at the same time, presented by Claire
and Enzo. Our podcast is produced in London. Some conversations are just too long for a voice note.
Hi guys, she's Claire.
and he's Enzo.
And this is Too Long for a Voice Note.
Hi everyone!
Welcome guys, welcome to a new episode of our beautiful podcast, Too Long for a Voice Note.
We are back for another
We're
episode.
back. We're back.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It is Monday morning.
Monday morning.
Get it popping.
Yes. So guys, I hope you're enjoying our new schedule. We're just moving to Mondays now. So this is a Monday. Happy Monday. I hope you're having your coffee or whatever you're having. I hope you're following us on TikTok. As we said last week, we are trying, guys. We are trying. We're TikTok.
You're doing a great job on it. It's a brand new platform for both of us, but Enzo's definitely been doing the majority. But...
yeah, we're trying to catch up,
Yeah.
and thank you, because I think we got some new subscribers thanks to TikTok, and they comment and they say hi. So if you're watching this episode, thank you for joining us. And it's so nice that you found us through TikTok, which is something new for us.
Totally.
Yeah.
So please do remember
I like Claire.
just like, subscribe, share, do all the things. You know what to do by now.
Yes, please remember to click like. Like is important.
Yeah.
And say something on the comments. You don't have to say. You don't have to go too deep.
Drop us an emoji.
Sometimes, emoji is fine. Sometimes you feel a bit awkward to drop a comment because you think you have to say something super smart. You don't have to, guys. It's fine. Whatever you feel, say hi. It's fine. So, how was your weekend, Claire?
It was good, thank you.
What did you do this weekend? I think you did it for fun stuff, because I was looking at your Instagram.
Stalker. I went to the Van Gogh exhibition, interactive one. It was very nice.
Do you like it?
I liked it.
Are you really like Van Gogh? Or it's like,
I really
like
Van Gogh.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, not to sound like pretentious levels 1000, but I have seen some of his pieces in Amsterdam, so because so pretentious. But it was nice. It's not actually the pieces of art. It's just projection onto different walls. They have
an experience.
Yeah, it's experience. I did feel it was a little bit like Disneyland, to be honest. But I definitely only would go once. Wouldn't need to go again.
It was I will really love to go to his museum in Amsterdam, and I think I saw some photos, and they have actually a real sunflower garden outside the museum right now.
Amazing.
It seems to be really cool. Yeah,
you would absolutely love Amsterdam.
I need to go to Amsterdam.
You would love it.
But yeah, it's cool that you went to
How
exhibition.
Was your weekend?
It was really good. I mean, it was we got some friends at home, so we have dinner, things like that. Just doing home stuff, to be honest. Not a lot of major updates.
No.
I saw my cousins. There was also a birthday around. It's kind of cool to go and have birthdays again and
it feels
celebrate.
like normal life, right? Completely normal.
Yeah, it's kind of it feels like it's normal life in a way. This week we're doing something. You want to explain, Claire? Well, basically the podcast is over, guys. Bye.
We're done. We had a massive argument.
Done.
This is all fake. I just literally can't wait to see the back of him. No, just joking. Basically, we've decided just to cut the podcast into just one secret topic of the week, just for a few reasons, just to see how we kind of get on with that. We felt that you guys might have more interest in just one of the topics rather than sort of spending your time on two topics that might not interest you. Yeah. So please do let us know your feedback on this. So for this week, Enzo is going to do his week.
First.
So completely the same format. Secret topic of the week. We'll still do our 60-second recap.
Yeah. So let's see. Let us know if you like it. It's going to be maybe shorter, easier to digest, all of the chit chat and all of our endless conversations.
Exactly.
So hopefully you will like it. Let us know your feedback about this, because we're really interested to we're always trying to change things around the podcast to keep it fresh, keep it new, keep it different.
Completely happening, and responding to you guys' feedback as well. So. With that being said,
it's time for Enzo's secret topic of the week. This week I want to talk about something we discussed a few times, of course, as always, and I feel it's something that we're really into it, which is aesthetics.
Oh.
And the look of stuff.
Oh, I love it. I'm like, ooh.
So, yeah. Aesthetics. So basically, it's this thing of eternal conversation between humans, why we like something or we don't like something, or why we are pleased for something aesthetically because how it looks or how it's shaped of the color of it. Because I think we had this conversation many times before, why do you like something certain way, with certain shape, with certain colors? especially us that we are very creative in the sense of we like to create like videos, photos, and like we work a lot on our feed on Instagram. We have a vision of things that we want them to look, and we do believe that's a good vision. But
Yes.
what it means to like, or why do you think it's good or it's bad? Why something you feel is not good, air quotes, you know what I mean? Because it's
so
subjective.
subjective.
It's subjective.
Yeah.
So when it goes aesthetics to design, like a table, it's easier because it's functional but also looks beautiful, right? But when it's something so artistic or something so up in the air, like what it makes something to be like good or bad, or what do you think about it?
Well, I guess it's about taste, isn't it? And I mean, for me, like my personal aesthetic, because like Enzo said, I think we're both very aesthetically driven.
Yeah. But I think we have different aesthetics at the same time.
Do you think?
Not totally, but we have different things.
A bit. How would you
feel-
say it's different?
I think you are more like Scandinavian to me. I can be more like things and colors.
Yeah, it's true.
You're more like
Minimal, clean.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. But
But sometimes we meet in
we
the middle
definitely
all the
do.
time.
We definitely do. I've actually thought this a lot about my Instagram as well, because my Instagram is like super colourful. But like my home is like white, grey,
Yeah.
Scandi, like Enzo says, like light
Interesting,
wood, like
yeah.
that kind of thing. So what was your actual question initially?
So like why do you think we think something is good or bad depends of how it looks? Why do you think some aesthetic is right or something is good? Why we think something is trashy? Like
Why is that?
Why? Why do you think where it comes from?
This is like philosophical, isn't it?
It's very. I when I was researching a bit about this, it's a bit of a lot of philosophy behind this. It's a lot of like
Completely.
psychology behind this, because there's sorry for interrupting your like
No,
thing, but
okay.
it comes a lot about, it's like culture related
Yeah.
to it. It's about like society, like a lot of things comes even from back in the days, like biological as well. We have some attraction
Yeah.
to things by
like why we like blue sky and green land
it's
kind
biological.
of thing.
Yeah. And like why, of course, because if you think about like a sunset, it's so perfect and so symmetrical, and we love that. And so at the same time in real life we are always like drawn to like
Yeah,
symmetry
symmetry.
because it's related to that. So
Completely.
but for you, what do you think it would be the reasons why?
Well, it would be like taste developed over time, right? And like I will experience that as a good thing. And you're right to say culturally as well. I remember like a key difference with us in December was the Christmas tree. So I had a Christmas tree, like I have a real Christmas tree, and I decorated it like literally like I had some like little very subtle like gold
Yeah.
decorations and some like sustainably made like woolen like tree, you know, like
Yeah.
baubles or whatever. And Enzo was like, where's the colour? Right, but there's no like stuff on it. And then I was like,
celebration.
oh my god, wow. When I started looking
Interesting.
at like Latin
Yeah.
American Christmas trees, I was like, it's a bomb.
Mental. They're literally mental.
It's like a lot of stuff there that is like,
Sometimes you
wow.
can't even see the tree. It's just
Completely.
decoration.
It's like, tinsel,
what's the point?
everything more everywhere,
Literally.
and I was like, no.
So we got the cultural factor there, right?
It is a
Yeah.
cultural thing, but I think it's just, I guess it's also, I would feel like with my own taste, it's like a journey of experimenting of like what feels good to you and what you
feeling
end up learning, like, oh, actually that feels right for me.
Yeah.
I would say. And then you just, if you're very, because I also believe like some people don't care about aesthetics.
I do too. I think you're drawn to something more. I mean, I guess some people will say like if it's black or white, you say I prefer black, but they're not really interested on go deeper to that. It's
True.
just like what I like, but they don't go further. Like,
Yeah.
well, I like black, but with this shape.
But also
for
it's
example.
like people don't always have careers where they're thinking about how things look artistically.
That's
You've got to
true.
think, like, again, that sounds highly pretentious, but it's true. Like our careers are like looking at what looks good
Yeah.
or what we think looks good. And like
Yeah.
if you're, I mean, like to take it to more the extreme, like a designer or something like that, like that is pure like this is my taste is good. But we obviously must believe that on some level because
Of
we
course.
really put our work out there creatively.
Yeah. Do you think like sometimes taste because I have this thing, I feel like as society, sometimes we believe something is good because we all like it at the same time. You know, like, for example, back in the day, there was a time, I don't know, like, or even now, like, I don't know, animal print. I think becomes so popular that I think as humans we influence each other and we say like, oh, I like it, and someone else like it. So everyone, because maybe it wasn't a movie or it was some famous people, so we all start to think collectively like it's good.
Totally,
And then
totally.
like the 2000s, for example, the style, we have some horrible things, but back in the day we think they were really nice.
I get you.
And it's like a universal aesthetic. So we, maybe not all of us, but most of us, that we fall into the whatever we thought it was cool.
But that's
you know?
like fashion designers, for example, they have such a strong idea of like, this trend is amazing. In the 2000s, like chokers are going to be like the thing.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that tell like the masses or like the herd, like, this is what taste is, like, this is what looks good now. And it takes some really like kind of like creatively minded people to kind of say that, and then it like trickles down, because also that's how fashion works, right? Because
Really?
they tell like
Yeah,
the
it's true.
big brands, and then the big brands like trickle it down, and
Influence.
they tell they
set
say
the tone.
what exactly,
Which
you know?
is interesting. Do you think sometimes, and I think this is very like, it can go, I think it's related, it's very classist in a way. But you don't feel like a lot of times taste is related to things that are more expensive. Like things, if they cost more money, you automatically think it's better. If it's prettier in a way because it's designed a certain way, it's better. I think, because this comes to mind for me, because I feel like if you look to two tables and one is 1,000 and one is 100, you will think like, what's 1,000 is better because it's more expensive.
If you didn't know the cost, or because you
knowing
knew the cost.
Even like the 1,000 is it's like not well done, blah, 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 but maybe you would think that this is better because it's more expensive. You know what I mean?
I don't necessarily think that, actually.
Okay.
I think, like, if you're giving the example of two tables and you didn't know, I think you would probably assume or hope that the one that costed 1,000 would, like, look better or, like, feel
better. Yeah.
But not really, actually. I think often, like, I don't know, because I sometimes think, like, designer stuff looks really cheap as well, doesn't it?
Interesting.
But then
yeah.
again, I'm not feeling it. So
Yeah.
maybe because when you feel stuff, you can kind of tell.
There was something interesting when I was researching about this topic, because, for example, I found this article about talking about design, what we like, what we don't like. And it says something like, for example, like, people, we usually agree on what's beautiful and what not as a collective kind of thing, because it feels better. It's the same when we're talking about, like, trends.
Okay.
So if it's something feels better, we agree as a collective, like, it's beautiful, right?
You mean it feels better to agree with everybody?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Like, if we all think, like, silk feels better, we all think together that that's better for us.
Because you don't want to be left out of the group kind of thing.
So basically, this halo effect is reflected in everything. So basically, whatever we think, if it looks good, we think it's better. And this is for people as well. If we think someone is prettier, we think the prettier person will have more abilities to do something. So it goes the same with design. So something like, it's a bias that basically, like, if it's something looks interesting, it will be better, or we use it better, or will be good for our life.
Okay.
So it's very like, this thing is something like, I believe is very interesting, because why do we give this appreciation, this power, or this thing to something like an object? Like, just because we think it looks better, it will function better at the same time.
Because, like, we like to see beauty, right? Like, we like to, which is like, if you're saying, yeah, beauty is subjective, but generally we all have the same idea of what beauty is. And, like, when people are shown, like, the faces of people, what they all tend to find beautiful is symmetry.
Symmetry, yeah.
So no matter, like, your type,
We're
it's
back
like,
to symmetry.
yeah. And so, like, it's just probably in us. And like we said at the beginning, like, we love sunsets because of the symmetry, and it's something that we recognize
Naturally,
and like, it's just kind of like in us.
And I guess that's why when you like to see, like, if it's a painting is hanging, you want the painting to be, like, straight, because it goes with the idea, like, if it's symmetry, it will look better. But I think found, like, really, like, fascinating how then artists or creators or whatever, everyone, sometimes they want to be more disruptive from it, and they just go the other way around, and there's something super abstract or something that doesn't follow anything, and it still can be beautiful, or it's beautiful for a certain type of people. So if I'm very interested, like, why, like, for example, I don't know, like, I do think something is trashy, I'm not thinking it's trashy, but I think, for example, with us, I think because we have a similar background of like I think our creative and artistic background is kind of like integrated in
Yes,
some way. So
totally.
we tend to think, oh, that's trashy. Oh yeah, it's trashy.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
because we have the same bubble in a way.
I get
Even
you,
though
I get
we are
you.
born in a place and it was totally different continent,
Totally
different backgrounds,
different.
you know, it's
It's
interesting
funny,
like,
isn't it?
how like, but we had like a similar, I guess, not saying education, but yeah, we
Oh yeah.
rotate towards the
probably.
same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So for us, that's okay.
I
But
think so.
funny, like when you, I don't know, maybe you talk with a lawyer, whatever you think it's okay, it won't be
It's actually
for
a
them,
really good
you
point.
know. So they
a
will
really
think like
good
a
point.
animal
Because-
print is beautiful, and you won't think it's
Yeah,
animal because
or something
whatever.
me and Enzo I think will probably do a lot is like super snobby of like, I wouldn't dream of wearing those trainers. That is
Literally.
definitely a sentence you'll hear coming out of either one of our mouths.
Yeah.
But that for a lawyer, they might be like, it's functional, they're fine. Obviously to make a generalization, but like, why would you care about those trainers? But you're
Yeah.
actually right, like even though we grew up on like different continents, like we really do have similar tastes, and it might be to do with that.
Yeah.
And it might be to do as well about like the kind of similar circle things as
As
well.
well,
Like
yeah.
we follow the same, even before we met, like we follow the
Yeah.
same Instagram account. So they're
Yeah.
telling you, oh, that's good. Like these designers,
Yeah.
they're amazing. Like even though our taste will sometimes be slightly different, it's very,
Yeah.
we have a good idea clearly because we work together,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
idea of like what looks good, what's not good. I think about the trashy thing. Do you think there's like a slight class element of that?
Yes. I'm like, yes, definitely, definitely. Because I think like it's related to whatever it's too popular. We think it's bad because it's too popular, so it's easy to reach.
Yeah.
It's easy to obtain. So that's
So anyone can get
trash.
it. Kind of.
But the thing is, I think the last probably 2 decades, or probably the last decade, things really change. And I think about fashion, for example, because back in the day, you wouldn't be able to get like a dress or a t-shirt or shoes that looks like Versace, Gucci, whatever, because you have to have the money. You need to go to these brands to buy them, and that's not something that everyone can do.
Yeah.
But nowadays, you go to Zara and you get copies, or like you get a replica, or you get something that looks exactly, or maybe sometimes better than Gucci. So when, for example, Gucci release a new thing that becomes a trend, you can buy this even in Primark, you know?
Yeah.
So you have the access to something that it's premium. So is this, I think that's a break from what it used to be and what it's now, because back in the day it was like, oh, if you have money, you will have this aesthetic. But nowadays, you can reach those levels of aesthetics. Like, for example, you can have like a Scandinavian style in England. You know what I mean? And maybe you can have a sofa from May.com that
My
will look
favourite.
exactly like a sofa, or really similar to a sofa, like it's thousands of pounds more in another country, or something from
Completely.
Scandinavia. You know what I mean? For Scandinavian country, you
But
know.
the thing is, what you're saying about the
it's-
fashion, I don't entirely agree with you, because it's like you can say, oh, I can have like a similar Gucci
Yeah.
item from Primark, and therefore like you can have the premium.
Yeah.
But it's not, because it's a fake.
I know what you mean, but I'm talking about like a copy of it. I'm talking about like the trend, maybe.
Okay, so you can
How
like
it
have
look-
the same kind of trend.
Yeah, like if it's baggy is a trend. Back in the day, you have to be a model, famous people to wear
Okay.
baggy.
Okay.
But now you can go any store and you're gonna get something baggy, and you're gonna be part of the trend.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wonder now how it plays, because back in the day I think it was exclusive. And I think there's things that are still exclusive, like for example, I don't know, maybe furniture. But not even, because then you go to IKEA and you can get something that looks something that looks like Wallpaper Magazine, at least closer
But
for
does
like
it?
well, I mean that's a good point, because it gives you the feeling of, but again we go to the feeling because it makes you
Because
feel
it's not the same, to
it's
go
not
back
the
to the
same.
table example, like it's not the same material at
it's
all.
not the same material, it's not the same design, it's not the same person who did it.
And it won't have the same durability as well, you
Probably.
would think.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but because it gave us the feeling that it's that, we feel good. Because at the end, again, it's related to the feeling of it, right? Do you think it's possible to change your taste? Like, if you have like a taste that you may think is trashy because it's so popular, everybody has, and you think that's not okay, you want something more different, do you think you can re-educate, if that's a word, your taste or what you like, to have like a change in the visual part of your life? You know what I
I
mean?
think that you're always going to fundamentally kind of like what you like. Like, I think you're probably like, because of your background, because of like your brain, whatever it is, like you're probably just like wired to like certain colours, certain style, etc. You don't really know why, but you just are.
Yeah.
I think also like, but I think you can completely change things if you want to. Like you can probably make an effort to be like, I'm gonna put more time into picking out a different outfit, or like I'm gonna completely like redo my house.
Or if you can change it, like for example, if you think like, oh, my style I think is a bit trashy now, can I just change my style?
Yeah,
And
I
can
think
just
so.
get a new aesthetic for my life.
I think so, and I think also, don't you think your style and your taste changes with age as well?
So it's interesting because then it's related to like experiences, context,
and having more money,
art,
hopefully,
money,
and stuff like that.
So it's ready for many. So it's not everything's. It's not just natural, of
And
course.
it's also need, isn't it? Because if you take the house example, like when we were in our 20s, we're looking for something different to when we're in our 30s. Or like we were like doing our houses differently in the pandemic because we were spending all of our times in the house. Yeah. So like comfort and security and stuff is, you know.
Yeah, it's very interesting. When I was reading about this, they was talking about like how aesthetics and designs are such a good, it's interesting thing because as humans we always look for something that pretty but also that functions properly. Like we feel at the same time like it will work but also will look good. So it's kind of like this, as you say, it may change because your needs change with time. So I guess it's like a good point of it. And I find that really I think probably culture, and because I feel like maybe I'm more drawn to colors because I'm from Latin America and I've been more in contact with color. I mean, maybe things are more colorful there naturally in a way. It could be a cliche, but maybe it's easier,
it
know,
seems
like,
to be, the aesthetic is a lot more colourful, right? And you just
over the top,
associate
a lot of things on top of each other.
Completely.
Like if you put Latin America and like, I don't know, Finland probably is like now, you know, it's like really, really different. So it's funny how like maybe like the nature, the culture, the indigenous people, like you go back and all of that shape also, like,
and also
aesthetics,
like, isn't it just like that kind of like, if you want to go full like stereotypical, like you can say like Latin America, the people are typically more like loud, chatty, therefore the design is more colourful,
that's so true,
out there, blah blah blah. Whereas if you take, again, to be cliche, Scandis, a bit more like reserved, quiet,
functional, straight to the point,
practical, like bullshitting, blah blah blah. And then look at the products, their design.
I think it's not cliche. I think it's a reality because at the same time, it's the same as language. Depends on how we use it and how we need to use it. It changes and it's shaped.
Yeah.
So because they have a different mentality, things are made in a different way.
Totally. Have you ever like questioned your own aesthetic or like your own ability to like know if things look good in like a work setting or like in a house? I do. But I think also I do because sometimes I like different things as well. You know, it's not like I just like minimalism or I just like lots of colors. For me, change. Yeah. So sometimes it's like, how can I put all the things I like together, kind of thing. Yeah. And also like design, like graphic design. Sometimes I care about lines and like composition because I was a photographer. But then I like prints as well and color, like messy stuff, splashes. So it's a bit like, sometimes I'm like, oh, this actually feels like I like this. Sometimes it's like but it's difficult because you can't put all your what you like together, right, in one thing. So I guess you make choices when to use it or when to not. Or like, for example, I think lately I'm wearing like less like prints. Yeah, you're definitely more simple clothes. And before I was wearing a lot of prints in a period of time. Everything was a print. It was like boom all the time. So I guess it's like, in my time I want to go more to that side of myself because it's not one thing that I like. It's just you fluctuating, isn't it? Like, yeah. Interesting. But have you ever questioned your own taste? Like, do I have good taste? Not really. I don't have a great taste. Just like, I never will. And for me, it's like the biggest compliment. Like, the biggest compliment someone probably could give me, apart from like you're like intelligent, is like you have great taste. Because I think you can't buy taste. But also because I think the person is vibing. Look at me. It's like one week in TikTok is like the person is vibing with you, Claire. No, it's like I think the same person is in the same like vibe with you. So completely. You feel like, oh, you are one of we're connected. So if you like my aesthetic, it's because you think like me. So it's like that's a compliment. I think it's also right? Like I think I put a lot of effort into my aesthetic. So it's like if somebody says like your house is so nice, I'm like, I'm really glad because I've tried to make it nice
Yeah.
for them and for
Yeah,
myself as
exactly,
well. So
yeah.
it's sort of like, it's kind of like that.
But think about it. If you have a horrible aesthetic and then you have like a plastic chairs and plastic table and like leopard and like zebras around, like all the mess, but then someone can come to this house or this place will be like, oh, this is beautiful, great aesthetic.
Oh my god!
So you
I would
know
just
what I
assume they're being
mean?
like really sarcastic.
No,
then.
because they like the same. That's when it goes back
It's
to
true.
like.
It's really, really.
That's
true.
why it exists, because people likes it. People like things that for us are maybe horrible.
Completely.
It's really like.
I think you
yeah.
just have to like. I don't know. I'll save it for my recap.
Speaking of, this is time for your little recap. This is time for. You have 60 seconds to tell me whatever you feel about aesthetics, taste, what we like or we don't like something, whatever you want to like summarize this conversation.
Okay.
So there you go.
Well, I would say that, you know, kind of aesthetics are based around like your culture probably and like what you've grown up with, what you like. Aesthetics and design probably really do like kind of reflect the country, and like we were talking about
True.
with like Latin
True.
America and like Scandis kind of
History
case.
as well, for sure.
I thought it was very interesting about the halo effect.
The halo effect, yeah.
And how we like what the herd likes,
And we think,
it's like
it's better because it looks.
because everybody likes
yeah.
it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that you can definitely change your aesthetic over time if you want to, and of course, like aesthetics are completely reflected on like what's going on like in the world and like
Yeah.
during the time and all of that kind of stuff.
Less than 10
I think,
seconds.
yeah, like I often think about how important aesthetics are to me and you. Like,
Yeah.
definitely people comment on that as well. Like, you and Enzo are so aesthetically minded, and I'm like, I'll take that as a compliment because
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
That's it.
And that's it. My finger's like pointing.
Hey, that's a really good like conclusion, because I think when something doesn't look, or humans didn't think is aesthetically minded, it's because it's lazy, because you didn't put a lot of work behind it.
Yeah.
So I feel every single time we feel, at least we got the impression that it's being a lot of work, a process of thoughts, like selection, editing, we do believe it's better. Because
Completely.
it's less, it has an interest on it. You're interested in do something. It's, you know someone is paying attention to it.
Definitely.
So I think that's a really good role of it, or why we like something more or less.
It's true. And I guess one downside I would say of it is that, like, and I don't know about you, but like, I feel very bothered when things are not aesthetically pleasing to me.
Okay.
Like, in the house, for example.
Because you feel it's lazy, for example.
I can't relax. For example, if I'm like, you know, I really don't like mess, like I'm really minimal, I won't be able to like relax if there's something out of place.
Yeah.
I know that's definitely bordering on like OCD, but do you find that at all? Like,
Yeah.
or if
Yeah,
you've got like an outfit on and you're just like, this is
Definitely.
just not
Yeah, because I care. So if
right.
I don't feel it right with the outfit, I won't feel good with myself that day.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I have like intention behind it. So
Completely. And I think
Interesting.
maybe that is a part of being like, not that you can't have this if you're not creative, but I believe everybody is creative. But
Yeah,
if
definitely.
you're super focused
If
on
you
being
explore it
creative,
more.
then I think that will
Yeah.
definitely like
Definitely.
bother you more.
Yeah.
Something out of place. So yeah, that's it. What an interesting topic, love.
You're welcome. So guys, hopefully you liked our topic as well. And yeah, let us know if you
Totally.
if you like tiger printed.
No
things.
judgment here,
No
but we will
judgment.
judge you, but no judgment at all.
Just say it.
Please,
Justice for
uh,
Prince.
Please do drop an emoji to let us know your
Yes.
thoughts and let us know what you think about
Thank you guys.
the one secret topic
Please.
style episode.
And see you next Monday.
See you next Monday, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.